Hello everyone, and welcome back to English in Fluency. This is Alex, and I am so happy you have chosen to practice your English listening with me today. Today, we are going to talk about something very important. It's a feeling, a habit, that can steal our happiness, make us feel small, and stop us from enjoying our own lives. We are going to talk about how to stop comparing yourself to others. I want you to think about this. Have you ever been on your phone, perhaps scrolling through social media? You are having an okay day. Maybe you just finished your work, or you are relaxing with a cup of tea. And then, you see it. You see a picture of an old friend on a beautiful sunny beach. They look so happy, so relaxed. Or maybe you see a post from a colleague who just got a big promotion at work. Or you see someone who has bought a new car or a beautiful new house. What happens in that moment? For many of us, that good, okay feeling we had just a minute ago starts to fade. It disappears. Suddenly, our own life, our own work, our own home feels a little bit less. It feels a little dull, a little boring. This, my friends, is the comparison trap. It's a trap that is very easy to fall into, and today we are going to learn how to climb out of it. This feeling of comparison is not new. People have always compared themselves to their neighbors, their friends, and their family. But today, in our modern world with the internet and social media, this trap is bigger and deeper than ever before. We are not just comparing ourselves to the people we see every day. We are comparing ourselves to people all over the world. And worse, we are comparing our real, normal, everyday lives to their highlight reels. A highlight reel is a collection of the best moments. Think about a sports game. The highlight reel doesn't show the boring parts of the game. It doesn't show the mistakes or the fumbles. It only shows the amazing goals, the perfect passes, the big wins. Social media is the highlight reel of life. People post their victories, their vacations, their perfect-looking meals, and their happy, smiling faces. They don't usually post the arguments they had, the bills they have to pay, the days they felt sad, or the breakfast they burned. So, when we look at these highlight reels, we are comparing our entire life, the good, the bad, the boring, and the messy, to someone else's best moments. This is not a fair comparison. It's like trying to compare a whole movie to just the movie trailer. The trailer is exciting and full of action, but the movie also has slow parts, sad parts, and character development. When we compare our whole real life to a trailer of someone else's life, we will always feel like we are losing. We will always feel like our life is not good enough. This habit of comparing ourselves to others is like a thief. It steals our joy. You could have a wonderful day, a great achievement. But if you immediately look at someone who achieved more, your joy is gone. It also steals our motivation. Sometimes we see people who are so far ahead of us, or seem so far ahead, that we feel like it's pointless to even try. We think, I can never be that successful, or I will never look like that, so we just give up. This is a tragedy, because your journey is your journey, and it is valuable and important. Let's think about a simple example. Imagine two people, Sarah and Emily. Sarah and Emily went to the same college. Now they are both in their late 20s. Sarah works at a local company. She has a nice apartment, a few close friends, and she enjoys her job most days. It's a good, stable life. Emily, on the other hand, travels the world for her job. Her social media is full of pictures from Paris, Tokyo, and Rio de Janeiro. She seems to be at exciting parties and expensive restaurants every night. Sarah looks at Emily's photos and feels terrible. She thinks, Emily is so successful. She is seeing the world. I am just here. I am boring. My life is small. This is the comparison trap in action. Sarah is comparing her everyday reality to Emily's highlight reel. What Sarah doesn't see is what is behind the scenes. Sarah doesn't see that Emily is often very lonely in those hotel rooms. She doesn't see that Emily is tired of living out of a suitcase, that she misses her family, and that she wishes she had a stable home like Sarah. Emily might even look at Sarah's life and feel jealous. Emily might think, Sarah is so lucky. She has a real home, real friends she can see every week. She has stability. You see, both of them are comparing, and both of them are losing their joy because of it. They are comparing the outside of someone else's life to the inside of their own. So, the first and most important step to stop comparing yourself to others is awareness. You cannot fix a problem if you do not know it exists. You have to notice when you are doing it. You need to become a detective of your own mind. When you are scrolling on your phone, or talking to a friend, or even just walking down the street, pay attention to your feelings. When you suddenly feel a drop in your mood, a little feeling of sadness or envy, ask yourself, what just happened? What was I just thinking? Very often, you will find that you were comparing. Maybe you saw someone with a nicer car, or you heard about someone's promotion. The moment you notice it, you have power. Let's practice this. This is a small exercise for your mind. The next time you feel that negative, sinking feeling, I want you to mentally, or even quietly out loud, say to yourself, I am doing it again. I am comparing. That's all. You don't need to judge yourself or feel bad about it. Just notice it. I am comparing my car to their car. I am comparing my English speaking skills to their skills. I am comparing my weekend plans to their vacation plans. Just this simple act of noticing breaks the cycle. It takes the power away from the comparison. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly, you can see what is happening, and it's not so scary or powerful. This awareness is your foundation. You must build this skill first. It will feel strange at first because we do this comparison so automatically, without thinking. But with practice, you will get better at catching yourself. You will start to notice the triggers. A trigger is something that starts the comparison. For many people, a trigger is a specific app on their phone. Maybe it's Instagram, maybe it's Facebook or LinkedIn. For other people, the trigger might be a specific person. Perhaps you have a relative or a friend who always talks about their achievements, and after you talk to them, you feel small. Once you are aware of your comparison habit and you start to notice your triggers, the second step is to limit your triggers. This is a very practical step. If you know that looking at a certain social media app always makes you feel bad about your life, you have a choice. You can choose to limit your time on that app. Maybe you only check it for 10 minutes a day. Or maybe you delete it from your phone for a week and see how you feel. This is not about hiding from the world. It is about protecting your own peace. It is about curating your environment just like you would curate a garden. You pull out the weeds that are killing your flowers. If certain accounts or people on social media are weeds in your mind, you can unfollow them. You can mute them. This is very important. Your social media feed should be a place that inspires you, not a place that makes you feel inadequate. There is a big difference between inspiration and comparison. Inspiration feels good. It feels like, wow, that person is doing something amazing. That gives me energy. Maybe I can try something new too. Comparison feels bad. It feels like, wow, that person is doing something amazing. I am doing nothing. I am a failure. I want you to go through your social media feeds. Look at each person or account you follow. Ask yourself, how do I feel after I see their posts? Do I feel energized and inspired, or do I feel drained and envious? If the answer is drained and envious, you have permission to unfollow. It doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a person who is protecting their mental health. Fill your feed with things that match your values. If you love nature, follow accounts about hiking. If you are learning a skill, follow accounts that teach that skill. Be intentional. Let's think about our example, Sarah, again. Sarah realizes that looking at Emily's travel photos is a huge trigger for her. Every time she sees one, she feels bad for the rest of the day. So, Sarah decides to mute Emily's posts for a while. She still likes Emily as a friend, but she doesn't need to see her highlight reel every single day. At the same time, Sarah decides to follow accounts about gardening and cooking, which are her real hobbies. Soon, her feed is full of beautiful plants and new recipes. When she scrolls, she feels inspired to try a new recipe or to buy a new plant for her apartment. She has replaced a trigger for comparison with a source of inspiration. She has taken control of her environment. So, we have awareness, and we have limiting triggers. What is next? The third, and perhaps the most powerful, tool is gratitude. Gratitude is the opposite of comparison. Comparison focuses on what other people have and what you lack. Gratitude focuses on what you have and what you are thankful for. It is impossible to feel envious and grateful at the exact same time. They cannot exist in the same space in your mind. Gratitude always wins. When you feel the pull of comparison, the best antidote is to actively, consciously shift your focus to gratitude. This can be very simple. Let's practice it right now, as you are listening. I want you to think of 3 things, just 3 simple things, that you are grateful for in this exact moment. They don't have to be big. Maybe you are grateful for the chair you are sitting on, because it is comfortable. Maybe you are grateful for the device you are using to listen to this, because it allows you to learn. Maybe you are grateful for the cup of coffee or tea you had this morning. Maybe you are grateful for a pet or for a family member. Maybe you are just grateful for the fact that you are breathing, that you are alive. Take a moment. Think of your 3 things. Did you do it? How do you feel? You probably feel a little bit lighter, a little bit calmer. This is the power of gratitude. When you are focused on what you have, your mind doesn't have time to worry about what you don't have. A very helpful practice is to start a gratitude journal. This is just a simple notebook. Every morning when you wake up, or every evening before you go to sleep, write down 3 to 5 things you are grateful for. Again, they can be small. I am grateful for the sunny weather today. I am grateful for the interesting conversation I had with my coworker. I am grateful that I found my keys easily. When you do this every day, you are training your brain. You are literally rewiring your brain to look for the good in your own life, instead of looking for the good in other people's lives. Let's think about another person. Let's call him Mark. Mark wants to start his own small business, a small coffee shop, but he keeps comparing himself to David, who owns a big, successful chain of coffee shops across the city. Mark looks at David's busy stores and his fancy logo, and he feels defeated. He thinks, I can never compete with that. My little shop will be a failure. He is so stuck in comparison that he doesn't even start. Then, Mark starts practicing gratitude. Every morning, he writes down 3 things. I am grateful for my unique recipe for coffee. I am grateful for my family who supports my dream. I am grateful for the small, cozy location I found for my shop. As he does this, his mindset starts to shift. He stops focusing on David's success and starts focusing on his own strengths. He starts to see that his shop doesn't need to be like David's. His shop can be small and cozy. It can be a place where people know his name. He is replacing comparison with gratitude, and it gives him the motivation to finally start. This brings us to our 4th and very important step. Compare yourself only to yourself. This is the only comparison that is fair, the only comparison that is healthy. You are on your own unique journey. You have your own unique strengths, your own unique challenges, and your own unique starting point. It makes no sense to compare your journey to someone else's. Think about it this way. You are learning English right now. You are listening to this. Maybe you understand 80% of what I am saying. You might listen to someone else who is a native speaker or someone who has been learning for 10 years, and they sound perfect. If you compare your B1 level to their C2 or native level, you will feel terrible. You will feel stupid. But that is not a fair comparison. They have been on their journey for longer. They have had different experiences. The only fair comparison is to compare yourself today to yourself in the past. Think about yourself 1 year ago. How much English did you know then? Could you have listened to a long audio like this one? Maybe not. Think about yourself 1 month ago. Have you learned new words? Do you understand grammar a little better? I am sure you have. That is progress. That is success. You are better today than you were yesterday. That is all that matters. When you feel tempted to compare yourself to someone else, I want you to pause and ask this question. Am I better today than I was yesterday? Or, what have I learned this week? Or, what am I proud of accomplishing this month? Focus on your own progress. Celebrate your own small wins. Did you finish a difficult project at work? Celebrate that. Don't ruin it by looking at a coworker who finished a bigger project. Did you clean your entire apartment? Feel good about it. Don't spoil it by looking at your friend's bigger, cleaner house on social media. Your life is not a race against others. It is a journey with yourself. The goal is not to beat other people. The goal is to become a better version of yourself. Let's go back to Mark and his coffee shop. He stopped comparing himself to David. Now, he compares himself to himself. His goal for the first month is just to open the shop and have 10 regular customers. He achieves that. He is successful. He doesn't care that David has 10,000 customers. Mark's next goal is to have 20 regular customers. He is competing against his past self. He is focused on his own growth. This is a healthy, sustainable way to build his business and his life. He is running his own race. This idea of running your own race leads to the 5th step. Understand that success is not a limited resource. We often have a scarcity mindset. Scarcity means there is not enough of something. We think that success happiness, and luck are like a small pie. If someone else takes a big piece of the pie, there is less for us. So, when we see someone else succeed, we feel bad, because we think they have taken our piece. This is not true. Success is not one small pie. The world is full of opportunities. Everyone can bake their own pie. This is called an abundance mindset. Abundance means there is plenty, more than enough, for everyone. Someone else's success does not take away from your potential for success. Emily's success in her travel job does not take away from Sarah's potential for happiness in her stable, local job. David's success with his coffee chain does not take away from Mark's ability to have a wonderful, successful small coffee shop. In fact, you can use other people's success as inspiration, as we talked about, but you can also just celebrate it. This is a powerful shift. When you see someone succeed, instead of feeling envy, try to feel happiness for them. This is hard at first, but it is a practice. Say to yourself, "Good for them." That is wonderful. This feeling of celebrating others, this abundance mindset, frees you from the comparison trap completely. It changes your world from a competition to a community. When you celebrate someone else's win, it sends a positive message to your own brain. It says, success is possible. Good things happen. It builds a positive, optimistic mindset, which will, in turn, help you succeed. When you are feeling envious, you are in a negative, lack mindset. This blocks your creativity and motivation. When you are feeling happy for others, you are in a positive, abundance mindset. This opens you up to new ideas and new energy. Let's imagine Sarah again. She has muted Emily's posts, but one day she talks to Emily on the phone. Emily tells her she just got another big promotion. The old Sarah would have felt terrible. She would have felt small and unsuccessful. But the new Sarah, who has been practicing gratitude and focusing on her own journey, takes a breath. She says, "Emily, that is fantastic news. I am so happy for you. You have worked so hard for that." And she truly means it. After the call, Sarah doesn't feel bad about her own life. Instead, she feels good. She feels happy for her friend. And then, she goes back to her own life, feeling energized, and decides to sign up for that pottery class she has been wanting to take. She is focused on her joy, not on Emily's. This is a profound shift. It takes practice. So, here is a little exercise. The next time you hear good news about someone, a friend, a co-worker, even a stranger on the internet, I want you to pause the voice in your head that says, "Why not me?" Instead, actively think or say, "Good for them. That's amazing." See how it feels. It might feel strange at first, but it will get easier. You are training your brain to see the world as abundant. And this leads us to our final and perhaps most personal step. Define your own vision of success. This is the ultimate way to stop comparing. A lot of our comparison comes from using other people's definitions of success. Our society, our parents, our friends, and social media tell us what success looks like. They tell us it's a big house, a fast car, a high-paying job, a perfect-looking family, and constant travel. But what if that's not your definition of success? What if success, for you, is having a job that you don't hate, even if it doesn't pay a lot of money? What if success is having deep, meaningful relationships with a few close friends? What if success is having free time to read books, go for walks, or play with your dog? What if success is feeling peaceful inside? What if success is simply being healthy? If you don't have your own clear definition of success, you will always use someone else's, and you will always feel like you are failing. You will be like a ship without a rudder, just being pushed around by the winds of other people's opinions. I want you to take some time, maybe after listening to this, with a piece of paper and a pen. And I want you to write down the answer to this question. What does a successful life look like to me? Not to your parents, not to your friends, not to social media, to you. Maybe your list includes having a calm morning routine, eating healthy food, learning one new thing every week, laughing every day, having enough money to pay my bills without stress, having a clean and cozy home. This list becomes your new measuring stick. It becomes your compass. Let's think about two more people, James and Anna. James is a corporate lawyer. He makes a lot of money. He has a huge house and a very expensive car. By society's definition, James is extremely successful. But James works 80 hours a week. He is stressed all the time. He never sees his family. He has no time for hobbies. He is miserable. Anna is a school teacher. She makes a modest salary. She lives in a small apartment and drives an old car. By society's definition, she is not as successful as James. But Anna loves her job. She feels like she is making a difference. She works reasonable hours, so she has time in the evenings to cook, read, and see her friends. She feels peaceful and happy. Now, who is really successful? According to society's definition, it's James. But according to Anna's own definition of success, making a difference, having work-life balance, feeling peaceful. She is the successful one. James is actually failing at his own life because he is living by a definition of success that doesn't make him happy. If Anna compared herself to James, she would feel poor. She would feel unsuccessful. But Anna doesn't compare. She has her own definition. She knows what is important to her. So she can look at James's big house and fast car and think, good for him. That is his life. It is not my life. I am happy with my life. This is true freedom. When you know what you value, what success means to you, the noise of other people's lives fades away. You stop comparing because their success is not the success you are trying to achieve. You are on a different path, playing a different game, and you are winning your game. So, let's review these steps. We have learned a lot today. We have learned that we fall into the comparison trap when we compare our real life to other people's highlight reels. We learned this is a thief that steals our joy and motivation. And we learned the practical steps to get out of this trap. First, awareness. You must notice when you are doing it. Just saying, I am comparing right now, is the first, most powerful step. Second, limit your triggers. Clean up your social media. Unfollow accounts that make you feel bad. Fill your feed with inspiration, not comparison. Protect your peace. Third, practice gratitude. This is the antidote. Focus on what you have, not what you lack. Start a gratitude journal. Train your brain to see the good in your own life. Fourth, compare yourself to yourself. This is the only fair comparison. Look at your own progress. Are you better today than you were yesterday? Are you learning? Are you growing? That is the only thing that matters. Fifth, adopt an abundance mindset. Success is not a limited pie. Someone else's success does not mean less for you. Celebrate other people's wins. It will put you in a positive, powerful state of mind. And sixth, define your own success. Stop using society's measuring stick. Decide what a good, happy, successful life means to you. Write it down. Live by your values. This is not an easy process. It is a practice. It is something you have to work on every single day. You will still fall into the trap sometimes. I still fall into the trap sometimes. We all do. We are human. But now, you have the tools. Now, when you fall, you don't have to stay there. You don't have to build a house in that dark place of comparison. You can notice it. You can say, "Ah, I'm doing it again." You can practice gratitude. You can remind yourself of your journey and your definition of success. And you can climb right back out. Your life is your own. It is a unique, precious, and wonderful thing. It deserves your full attention. It deserves to be lived, not to be wasted by looking at what everyone else is doing. Your journey is important. Your progress is real. Your definition of success is valid. I want you to remember the stories we talked about. Remember Sarah, who learned to find joy in her own hobbies instead of comparing her life to Emily's travel photos. Remember Mark, who built his own dream coffee shop by focusing on his progress, not on his competitors. Remember Anna, who knew that her happy, peaceful life as a teacher was her definition of success, and it didn't matter what anyone else had. You can be like them. You can take back your joy. You can take back your peace. It starts today. It starts with the next time you pick up your phone. It starts with the next time you have a conversation. It starts with awareness. Thank you so much for joining me here today at English in Fluency. I hope this practice was helpful for you, not just for your English listening skills, but for your life. It is a real pleasure to be on this learning journey with you. If you found this helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel. It helps us grow and create more lessons for you. We are building a community here, and we would love for you to be a part of it. And now, for your call to action, your homework. I want you to practice what we learned today. In the comments below this video, I want you to do one of two things. You can either write one thing you are grateful for today, anything, big or small. Or you can write one way you are going to practice comparing yourself only to yourself this week. Maybe it's in your English studies, or at your job, or with your fitness goals. Let's fill the comments section with gratitude and personal progress. Let's make it an inspiration for everyone else who is watching. This is Alex from English in Fluency. Thank you for listening. Keep practicing. Be kind to yourself. And I will see you in the next lesson. Goodbye for now.